This short message was written by one of the members of our community based on his observations in the first 6 months after he discovered our videos 7 years ago. He wrote this message to emphasize the need to follow Jesus above all else. And he wrote this at least partly in response to the recent attacks and lies against this YouTube channel, its message, and the community behind it.
You don't need us. That's the underlying message I got when I first watched the YouTube videos produced by this channel 7 years ago. More specifically, the underlying message was you don't need us to follow Jesus. And that message is still true today. Recently, there has been some lies that have come out against us, but we all believe that ultimately, getting people to obey Jesus is more important than looking good or gaining followers for ourselves. So, if you have any doubts about us, that's okay. You don't need to join us to follow Jesus. Start your own group. Spread Jesus' teachings far and wide. God's kingdom is bigger than our community and can be preached and shown with or without us. We don't want people to not follow Jesus and his teachings because of the slanderous media coverage that our group has been experiencing recently. You can follow Jesus as long as you're with at least one other person who wants to follow Jesus' teachings too. That's what Jesus said in Matthew 18, verse 20. So don't ever let your doubts about us be an excuse to not start following Jesus. Just find one other sincere person and get started. Movements made to help people follow God throughout the centuries have transitioned from being tools to being obstacles for any true follower of God. The Kingdom of Israel, the Catholic Church, the Orthodox Church, Protestants, if you can think of the name, it has most likely been an obstacle for true followers of God too. And our group, most likely, won't be an exception. We are not the kingdom of God. Do you understand? The kingdom of God is invisible. It's not of this world. Don't let all the lies and media distortions about us dissuade you from following Jesus and his teachings. Let God's kingdom grow with or without us. Because the point of God's kingdom coming isn't to bring glory to us or to our efforts or to our group, but to God. I don't have much more to add. I just want to get across that we are each going to be judged by God as an individual, and each of us individually will be judged by Jesus' teachings. Don't try to use us as a scapegoat for your own disobedience to God and his Son's teachings. What matters to God and to Jesus is what each one of us is doing personally to follow him and his Son. Remember, at the end of our lives, we won't be able to use any group to justify our personal disobedience when we face him. Thank you for listening.